Hello and welcome to Mollie's Motif. This is Emily and today starts another 2-week challenge over at Cut It Up Challenges, and the theme of the challenge is going in circles. So we want to see you use circles on your project, and of course you need to use a die cut, but you can use any die cutting machine. And we have a couple awesome sponsors and a couple great prizes that are up for grabs. Unity Stamp Company are going to be giving away 5 of their itty bitty stamps. And as cute as a button, they are going to be giving away a $20 coupon code to their online store. So a couple awesome prizes up for grabs, so make sure you get your projects linked up over at Cut It Up Challenges for your chance to win. And Unity Stamp Company, they were so nice to send each one of the design team members a different itty bitty stamp, so we all have something different to work with on our projects. So make sure you head on over to all of the other design teams' blogs to see, what they did and how they incorporated these itty bitty stamps. And the one that I was sent is this button bingo stamp, and this is how it turned out, and it's really cute. I really like how it's stamped. It was very crisp and clean, and there wasn't any blurring or anything like that. So I used Memento Tuxedo black ink just to stamp it on some white cardstock. So this is the stamp that I'm going to be incorporating in my project. I'm just going to start with a 5x5 piece of green cardstock, and it's just kind of a Kelly green. It's just more vibrant. Really like it. And then my pattern paper is going to be coming from the Doodlebug Designs Day-to-Day paper pad, and I picked this up over at the Royal Castle shop on Facebook, Teresa the Scrapbooking Queen. I ordered this from her, and I really like all the papers in here. I love the colors, and there's just some fun designs. There's glasses, and there's ties. There's the fun mustaches that are super popular right now, the big trend with the mustaches, and I just really like the cameras and tape recorder or cassette tapes. Just fun paper. So this is where I'm going to be getting all my pattern paper from. I do love that pack. And I'm going to start, my mat is just going to be this typewriter keys, because they're all in circles, but they look like typewriter keys, an old-fashioned typewriter key. So that'll be my mat. And then just from George, I cut a circle at 4.5, and this is also some of that pattern paper. It's just the green and blue and yellow and red polka dots, so circles. I'm trying to keep with the theme, going in circles. So that'll be on my mat, putting it down like that. And then my bingo stamp, I'll just be putting it on an angle, just like that. So this is kind of where my card is going to be kind of building from this. And of course, when you play bingo, you have to have your little tokens, your little markers. And so from Mini-Monograms, I used the creative feature. It's the dots, and it cuts that you can do dots in a square or dots in a circle. And I went ahead and cut out the word fun. But just so you're aware, I had to cut the U out twice because they didn't have an N that matched the same font. So I just cut the U out twice and turned it upside down for the N. And so I'm going to be putting my little markers on my card like this. And then from Wrap It Up, from this cartridge, I went ahead and cut out on page 30 the little game controller. And here it is. And what I did, instead of cutting out the game controller and the different layers, I just cut the base game controller out of this kind of turquoise blue. I just cut that out, and then I cut the box feature, the shift box feature. I just cut the top for the top of my controller. I didn't want to do the layers, and my sizing is kind of a little weird because the game piece I cut at 1 inch, but the shift box I had to cut at 4 inches to get it to match up the way I wanted. So hopefully that makes sense. So it's kind of unconventional. It's a little bit different than what you normally would do to cut this out. So this is the cut that I'm using for the game for one of my pieces. And then I'm also, when I was going through this cartridge, on page 41, there was this decor piece, but when I looked at the layer, it reminded me of a jack, like the game Jacks, with the bouncy ball. And so I kind of modified it a little bit, but I did cut a couple of these out for the front of my card as well, because I'm kind of making, you know, kind of a game card for maybe a preteen boy. So I'll just kind of show you how it's going to work out. So I've cut another, from George, another circle, and I'm just going to put that up at the top here. And then I've cut another circle, and I did emboss both of those circles with the Swiss Dots embossing folder. So if you can see how that embossed there. So both of the red circles are embossed with Swiss Dots. And I forgot to mention, my controller is also embossed. And I used this modern wallpaper just to emboss, just to give it a little bit of texture, a little design on there. I know that controllers don't, but I just wanted to give it a little bit more something than just plain. And so down on this circle, I'm going to go ahead and put my two little jacks that I kind of improvised. I basically just cut, I'll put that up here so you can see. I cut two of the arms off. I guess that's what I'll call them, as arms. I just cut two of them off so that it looked like a jack, kind of. I'm totally improvising, but that's okay. You make it work. You use what you've got and you make it work, right? So I've cut two of those out, and then I cut another circle just for the bouncy ball. And I did run that through the chevron embossing folder from the Paper Studio. So let's see if you can see that a little bit. So that'll be down in this corner in this circle. So kind of just making a fun and games. And then from Mini-Monograms, I went ahead and used the letter only feature to cut the rest of my letters out. And I cut the letters to spell the word games. If I can get this on here. And I'll be putting that down there. And then I did cut the ampersand as well. And I'll be putting that right there. So this is kind of where I'm going with my card. And then I haven't decided, where's just my A? I don't know if I'm going to put something, if I do, I'll put all up here so it reads all fun and games. So I haven't quite 100% decided if I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll even print out or cut out it's, so it says it's all fun and games. So I'm still kind of working on that, but this is the basic design of my card. And keeping with the theme of going in circles, I've incorporated a lot of circles in my card. So I'll go ahead and get this finished up, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do on the inside, just a very basic design on the inside. So let me get this put together, and I will be right back. Okay, so here is my finished card. I went ahead and used some foam tape to pop up the button bingo stamp and my two red embossed circles, as well as all my letters. So there's a little bit more dimension on the front. And then the rest of my images I just tacked down either with some glue dots or Zig two-way pen. So that's the front. And then the inside, just keeping with the going in circles theme, I cut a 4 3/4 inch mat from George just on some white cardstock. And then I cut from some of the leftover pattern paper that I used on the front. These two circles are cut at 1 inch. And then I made a fun little mat down at the bottom. And then I also cut another bouncy ball and jack using the same process that I did on the front. They're just a little bit bigger. My sentiments, the happy birthday comes from this happy birthday stamp set. And I'm not sure who makes it, so I'll look it up and I'll list it on the screen. And then my celebrate stamp comes from this all year cheer from Fiskars. This is a fun stamp set. So that's how the inside turned out. And I'm just really pleased with with how it came together. And I think it would be fun to give to maybe a 10 or an 11-year-old boy for his birthday. He may not know what jacks are, but that's okay. It's still kind of a fun card. And I hope that you're able to join us this challenge over at Cut It Up Challenges of going in circles. You have 2 weeks to get your projects linked up, so you have plenty of time, and we have some awesome sponsors and awesome giveaways. So make sure that you get your projects linked up. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I'd appreciate any comments or feedback, and we will catch you next time.